Well, hello everybody. Thanks for stopping by the shop. I appreciate your time and the visit. So you can see here the ARW radius ball turner is complete. I do have it mounted in my lathe, but unfortunately with the tool block here I can't get it low enough, and I've got it's a CXA unit and it's down all the way, and on my Monarch 10EE, I have the same issue. So there's going to be no demonstration of the ball turner. It'll go back to Harold, Amateur Redneck Workshop, and he can make an adapter to use it on his lathe. But it is complete, turns nice, and I made a little unit here that sets the distance from the center point to the edge of the cutter so that you can dimension for the ball that you want to turn when you're going to go ahead and cut the ball. All in all, it was a challenging build for myself. As I mentioned early on in the design review, I was going to have to do my best Joe Piezinski and Liptonization of filing to get a finish, and like I said, it's done, and it's pretty well presentable. I had some challenges on the way in building it. What you're going to follow here is all the excerpts that I took on my iPhone primarily and put on Instagram. You may have seen some of the film or video in the previous ARW reviews, but I ended up, I wasn't concentric on my bores. So initially I had a threaded unit coming up from the bottom to do the adjustment, and because of that issue I had to go ahead and modify. So I ended up, I had oil light bushings, so the bottom sits on an oil light bushing right here, and there's a pin that's pinned into the unit. Now of course putting set screws into aluminum is not something that would be time worthy, and it would definitely wear the thread out, but basically this pin really never has to come out. On the top, the drive piece that I made this out of 5/8 hex. Again, that's pinned to the drive rod, so when you turn, the cutter turns, and that is pinned to a flat, and again, it's not something you're really going to be taking apart. So the adjustments there, the height adjustment will have to be made up into the tool post. The cutter, I ended up, it's only, I forget the width on that. Let me grab that was a little bit of an issue figuring out what I would do on the cutter, the mounting of it. Yeah, it's about 650 thousandths thick. So I ended up, I bored a 3/8 hole that's just below center, actually, so that there is an adjustment, and then planned on using 3/8 drill bits or drill rod to make the cutter. So all in all, I think it turned out well. It was definitely a challenge for me. Never done anything like this. There was no dimensions or plans or anything. Basically, I got the two rough castings from Harold and went to work on them. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. I may get some voiceover on it. A lot of it's going to be just snippets. You'll see the various methods I used in mounting the different parts. I call it the yoke and the frame. You'll see on the lathe where I ended up trying to, or I did, create the concentric bores using the lathe in the end. With that said, I think that's everything I wanted to say. Again, I hope you enjoy the video, and definitely tune in to Harold's channel, Amateur Redneck Workshop. to see him use the tool here in the future. So I drill the hole, or center mark it. Then I move over to a place here in the Y direction. And from there, I measure over to the edge of this T-slot. And I get an X dimension of what I moved. And when I rotate the plate 180 degrees, I pick up that point, move over the X dimension, and then I know what my offset is from here to there. I think that figures it out. Well, I thought long and hard about machining the barrels, and I came up with this idea right here. I took my pallet and basically made a slide that I could slide this back and forth if I needed to, pinched on both sides, then a hold down on it, and was looking at actually holding the pallet down onto the table. But it turned out I didn't have to do that, and basically mounted the piece, the two frames, the yoke and the frame, and with the belt grinder here, of course, I can adjust the height of how much belt is actually touching, and then basically that's how I ended up cleaning up the barrels rather than machining them. Worked out real slick, very quick to do. Well, here we are at the lathe, and trying to solve an alignment issue. So I've got a 1/2 inch rod in the drill chuck there. Got the part riding on that 1/2 inch rod, and then I got a 1/2 inch end mill over here, and I'm looking to bore it through there so that I get straight alignment. Might be able to see there, but it appears to be that it's off when I push a rod through here and touch there. So, gonna fire it up and go, see what happens.